The word Egypt in Hebrew is Mitzrayim. Rabbinic tradition understands that the word stems from the root meitzar, which means narrow. In contrast, God promises Moses to take the Israelites from Egypt to the promised land of Canaan, which God refers to as, in Hebrew, an Eretz Tova Urechava, a good and wide land. Now, in a geographic sense, this is inaccurate. Obviously, Egypt is many times wider than Israel on the map. It's clear that the terms narrow and wide are meant as metaphors. Egypt is narrow in the sense of being a restrictive, constricting, confining place. Israel is broad in the sense of being open and free. In Egypt, options were limited, but in Israel, they would be boundless. In this sense, the narrative of the Exodus is a paradigm for anyone being liberated from that sense of being trapped, of being enslaved, not necessarily to an actual taskmaster, but to the circumstances and conditions of their lives. Leaving Egypt to travel towards the promised land is about being freed from those shackles, whether physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual, and moving forward with life. Last week, I watched an interview with the congressman representing the city of Nashville, who was responding to yet another horrific school shooting. When asked if there was anything he would propose in Congress to solve this uniquely American horror, he responded in the negative. He explained that, in his estimation, there was simply no law that could be passed, no policy that could be enacted that would have any effect on the situation. There was simply, he said, no way to prevent the next school shooting, nor the one after that. Now, reasonable people might argue about whether the congressman was correct in this assertion or not, but personally, I was struck by the pained resignation and the despair in his demeanor. The hopelessness he expressed, even as it was based on his reasoned analysis of the situation, was to me the very embodiment of being trapped in Egypt. He was constricted. He was trapped in that narrow place with no apparent way out. At the Seder, we declare that our obligation is to see ourselves as if we ourselves are leaving Egypt. In other words, Passover is an opportunity to visualize ourselves transcending those aspects of our own lives that we think will always hold us back. Again, whether those aspects are physical, psychological, emotional, spiritual, circumstantial. By visualizing ourselves leaving Egypt, by seeing ourselves freed from those shackles, we're taking the first step towards our own liberation. Wishing you and your loved ones a Chag Sameach, a joyous and meaningful Passover festival.